Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. The Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 161, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. My name is Zachy Hassan, and I'm here with my partner, Brian Hall.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going very well, and I'm excited because we have a third chair with us this episode. That's a rare occurrence, Brian. Doesn't happen that often.
No.
It is our recurring third chair. Aaron Neuwirth is here. Hi, Aaron.
Hey, I'm back.
Guess who's back?
Aaron is the host of Out Now with Aaron and Abe, which I was lucky enough to be on just, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, a few weeks ago, we were talking Creed 2.
We talked Creed 2, and the last time you joined us, I believe it was Black Panther, right?
It was Black Panther, but I was happy I was able to trick you to talk about another DC film yet again, a year later.
That's right, yeah, because you came on for our Justice League episode, which you liked substantially less than we did.
I mean, I do like it overall. I'll put it that way. That's it. Some rewatches on HBO really show the seams in that CG work, but, it's okay.
It's funny. Zachy and I were talking about that just the other night, and I was saying, man, you just did not know what you were walking into. I think we were sort of surprised, like, I don't know, I kind of liked it all right. And I remember you being like, what? and then as we were just, it's kind of fun, it was kind of cool, da-da-da. And you're like, what? Do you guys remember the part where I felt like that conversation went very different than what you were expecting?
And what's funny is I'm still I tweeted something a couple weeks ago which I thought was relatively innocuous, which was like rewatching Justice League, getting ready for Aquaman. I still enjoy it, and like that tweet just sort of rocketed through a particular corner of the internet where people take any liking of that movie as a crime that is punishable by sort of excoriation.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I'm all up, you do you as far as like what movies you like or whatnot. And again, I like Justice League well enough. I don't think it's great, but I like it well enough. But it's like, God, people just want to, and people that like the same thing you do are coming after you. It's like, what's happening?
I this might be burying the lead a little bit, but like I wrote my review of Aquaman yesterday, and the gist of it, I was really like, man, I love it's like kind of bonkers, the tone, and I really dug that, and I thought the visual effects were great, and I got this email from somebody who's like, I don't like how you were making fun of Aquaman, and I'm like, I gave it what do you people want?
First off, his name is Aquaman. I don't need to do any making fun of him.
But Aquaman is our one of our main spoiler discussions for this episode. Brian, you literally less than an hour ago you got out of the movie. Less than an hour.
Yeah,
you've just swam to shore.
There you go. And boy, are his arms tired. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But we do have a few other films. Actually, I just got out of the theater earlier today too, Brian.
Oh, what'd you see?
I saw Bumblebee.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Which I hear is
the one
good.
That stars Antonio Banderas, right? He helps sell medication to people with stuffy noses. Is that how that goes? I went for that deep one.
I applaud that. That's quite impressive. No, this is the 6th Transformers movie in 11 years.
Wow.
I like that distinction.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Bumblebee. Oh, it's the 6th Transformers movie in 11 years.
Yeah, it's
pretty amazing, actually. And they all look exactly like the same film, but they did sort of have this shift, right? They started these like Shia LaBeouf sort of Spielberg with his name on it kind of vehicles. And then they sort of shifted into these the Cade Yeager Chronicles.
The Chronicles of Cade.
Yeah.
The CYCs.
Yeah.
I will say this. First of all, I had such a good time with this. I really liked it a lot.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And Aaron, I did you post your review yet?
Oh yeah, I posted.
Okay, so I have not read what you thought. I'm very curious what you think, but I don't know. Spielberg's got his name on all of them, but this is the first one where I'm like, this guy, Travis Knight, by the way, directed it, who directed Kubo and the Two Strings. This is his first live action movie, and he made E.T. with a Transformer. Like, that was his goal. And Brian, I have my Brian radar. I'm like, Brian needs to watch this movie.
Yeah, I sense that from the trailers, and if it's anything like what I'm hearing as well, then now backed up by you, it just seems like something I'd really enjoy.
Well, and the fact to me that it's 6 movies in 11 years, and this is literally the first one that you can comfortably take children to.
That's interesting.
Yeah, which seems like a massive oversight. But yeah, it's very 80s aesthetically. Great soundtrack.
It seems to be the magic trick, isn't it?
When
they want to make the movie, they realize they want to recreate the movies from the 80s, and they're like, screw it, let's just put it in the 80s. Maybe that's an inherent part of the magic. I don't know.
It's very. I mean, I was thinking about that as I was watching it. I was like, we're at probably the tail end of this sort of love affair with the 80s that's happening right now.
Yeah,
we're gonna start pushing into the 90s soon. This is 87. This movie is set. So I'm like,
given Venom, we're already coming back to the 2000s.
There you go.
All right.
So I'm like, well, I'll just enjoy
for,
it.
half-baked superhero movies.
But Brian, you have not seen it. Aaron, what'd you think?
It's the best Transformers movie.
There you go.
And it's funny because there are. Geez, what is this? The 6th? There are 4 Transformers movies that I like to varying degrees. I think the first one, I mean, much like you're saying, this is E.T. with Transformers. I do think the first one has now that we've seen Bumblebee, it has the second most amount of Spielbergian influence in it.
Yes.
And I've always felt like he just kind of he was excited about this first one, then he just kind of let Bay do his own thing. And yeah, Revenge of the Fallen is not a. That's the one that's hard for me to kind of defend, but I do think it has. I mean, it has that IMAX shot forest battle sequence, which I think is like 5 of the best minutes you'll ever see in a movie theater. Like, it's pretty incredible. But yeah, the rest of that movie's pretty. It is what it is, and but yeah, the rest of them, with the exception of The Last Night, right? The Last Night.
That's the one.
Yeah. I do have an enjoyable time with for the most part, give or take things about them. I don't exactly go and revisit all of them, but I do like them to varying degrees. The Last Night pretty much broke me because I'm a guy that likes to defend, but not even defend. I don't defend anybody. People speak for themselves. I like to support Michael Bay when I can, because I do think that he can be much like Snyder. Actually, he can be a great visual stylist. He can put something on screen and he never half-asses it. Like, you don't have to like the movies, but he always puts in the effort. But The Last Night that felt like him actually phoning it in, which seems strange to me. So Bumblebee, I was all in because of Travis Knight. Kubo and the Two Strings was a fantastic film, and bringing a director like that into this, even with a track record where it seems kind of mixed when you bring animation directors into live action, because for every Brad Bird who gives us like a Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, you get a Brad Bird that gives us Tomorrowland. So it's
right.
Although you just watched John Carter's Zachy, which is done by Andrew Stanton, and I really like that movie too. Regardless, getting too off topic, I could be like kind of hesitant on Bumblebee, but like Travis Knight being, I was like, okay, well, there's an idea there. That
was me
choice.
Too. That was me too when I heard it. Yeah.
And then even in the trailers, one thing I really noticed that stuck out to me. This is so like weird, but all the Transformers movies up till then have been shot like 235 widescreen, and this is the first one that shot like scope, like 185, and I'm like, well, they made that's a directorial choice that I can admire. So we're actually going to see like big robots as opposed to like robots on the screen with all this space on the sides of them. So it's like things like that just got me psyched for this. And then I saw it, my girlfriend and I saw it, and it was like, oh, this is so much fun. This is like a fun Transformers movie. It's doing its job. It doesn't feel so like aggressive as far as like forcing humor onto you that's meant for a very specific audience, teenage boys, or like overwhelming with like the amount of robots in front of you, which is not a terrible thing, but at the same time, you kind of want to, if you're going to make a live action Transformers movie, you kind of want to tell some kind of story and not just make it like non-stop spectacle, because there can be weight to this. And the funniest thing I think about when I think of Bumblebee and its regard, because it has like a 95 or something on Rotten Tomatoes, even if the average score is still like, even then it's still like 7.0, like it's not bad at all.
Right.
You get a lot of, the people that are like, I don't care what critics have to say about Transformers. I don't go into them for character and story. Guess why this is a good Transformers movie? Because of characters and story. Like, it is possible. Like, you can't just throw your hands in the air and say, who cares? Because guess what? They made a Transformers movie that has those elements and still delivers on being one of the more faithful Transformers movies. They have G1 designs and fun character stuff involving crazy transforming robots. So yeah, like, I mean, I'm not going to say it's perfect, but at the same time, if I'm going to walk into a live action Transformers movie, this delivers like the promise of what you'd want to see out of like a family friendly movie about a robot that transforms into things and the characters you care about and a sense of warmth and humor that's for everybody. Like all of those aspects just make it like by far the best Transformers movie.
Yeah. I mean,
something to look forward to.
You know, it's funny because obviously, Brian, you know, I've been a Transformers fan, you know, of the cartoon and stuff growing up. You were never that, so I think you'll plug into this in a different way. But certainly for me, I just appreciated the fact that you had Transformers who you could recognize. You know, like that's the biggest problem with sort of the Bayformers is they're all kind of just covered with greeblies and they all kind of blend into each other. You know. But here it's
very jagged.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And like here, I was in the car, I was driving home, and the boys were like, "Oh, I noticed so and so," and "Oh, there was so and so." Like they knew who they were from the show that they have watched. So that's something. And then the other thing, just picking up on what Aaron was saying, is economy of scale. Right? The climax of this movie is not. It's not blue beam into the sky territory. It's relatively contained. It's something you can get your arms around. There are stakes involved. There's a clear sense of like we have to. There's a ticking clock, but it's not like whatever the hell's going on in those other movies, which I couldn't even begin to tell you. Right here, it's like oh, there's a thing here. We got to do this, and we got to stop this from happening, and you get it. And it's.
I'll just to add to that, like. It's nice that the movie actually takes time to breathe. Yeah. Like, you have the other Transformers movies are all clocking in at an average of 2 hours and 20 minutes, and they all feel so propulsive without having, like, anything to say. It's just, like, an over-convoluted plot about why Decepticons and Autobots don't get along, and there's a war brewing, and Earth's at stake, and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, does a script need to be that complicated to make these movies this long? Bumblebee is the shortest of these movies by at least 20 minutes, and it even takes its time during the movie to be like, we could just mess around for a while with them, like with Haley Steinfeld and her neighbor who has a crush on her, and Bumblebee just like hanging out and doing wacky stuff. Like we don't need to tell like an overly and you know that's still that you know the like plotting BS is still there in the form of like shadowy governments and evil Decepticons. That said, I like John Cena in this movie.
Me too.
I tend to like John Cena in general. I think
I was about to say yeah,
but I like that like the trailer sold me of making me think he was just gonna be like a hard ass the whole time. But he actually has like a good arc in this movie of where he starts, which is like as a regular like friendly John Cena character, why he gets into this kind of darker mode, and then what happens from there. I appreciated that, you know, for however thin you might think it is, there actually is some nuance to the like the performance that John Cena gives in a movie that doesn't need to have like such like heavy machismo when it comes to the portrayal of military in these Transformers movies, like the other 6 do.
Yeah, it's true. So there we go.
I can't wait.
There's a lot to recommend about this Bumblebee, guys.
Yeah. We might have seen the wrong one for the show.
Yeah, it's funny because Aaron, essentially, when Brian and I were deciding what should be our focus for this episode, it's like, well, we got Bumblebee and Aquaman are both opening the same day, so you know. I was like, just pick whichever one you think. It's like, oh, I guess Aquaman. And yeah, I was like, well, since Brian is watching Aquaman anyway, and I was actually supposed to watch the press screening of Bumblebee 2 days ago, and I like checked in, you know, the traffic thing, and it's like, oh, an hour and 37 minutes to get to the theater in San Francisco. And I'm like, let's see when it's playing like on opening day in 2 days. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm just going to do that. AMC A-list, here I come, you know.
You couldn't get the whole Hassan family to go to the Saturday preview screening they had, because like that was the jam right there. That made it easy.
They didn't have one here, unfortunately. The only screening was Tuesday night. Yeah.
It's Michael Bay getting back at you for some reason. You must have hated 13 Hours.
I didn't love it. So here's what's going to happen now. I'm going to listen to you guys talk about Mary Poppins Returns.
Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins Returns. Well, I'll start by saying that I really love the original. It's probably my favorite live action Disney film. Ever since I was a kid, it's one of those ones that they reran on
More than
Saturdays
the
a
black
lot.
hole?
Oh, I liked the Black Hole as a kid, and then I saw it again like 5 years ago, and I was like, what the heck is this?
But that's why I love it.
Yeah. But no, this was like a total Fox 32 Saturday afternoon thing, and it just drilled those songs in my head and the imagery, and I love it. So I was actually looking forward to this all year. And then I started getting nervous because I was like, you know what? I don't know. I don't know if people can write songs like the Sherman Brothers. Like, I don't know. I started getting a little hesitant. So I went in with that feeling, and I think that actually helped because when I walked out, I was like, you know what? I can already imagine what people are going to say when they don't like it, which is basically that it mirrors the original too much, which I think it does. And the songs don't hand a candle to the original, and they don't. But, I'll be darned if I didn't walk out with a huge smile on my face. So I think the criticisms are valid if you feel them, but I had a pretty good time with this movie. I don't know. What about you, Aaron?
So I'll start it off by saying I don't have like a strong affinity towards Mary Poppins. It's not to say I don't like the movie, but it's not one where like I grew up like thinking of like this being one of my like, key movies that like stuck with me and like I always love revisiting it. Like it's a movie I like well enough. I know the songs because it's hard. They're very memorable songs. It's hard not to know them. And I have an appreciation for it, but it's not one that's been like, Mary Poppins song. I got to sit down and watch it. So I feel like that almost makes me kind of the perfect audience for this. So I saw my lovely girlfriend and we saw this, and she's in a kind of a similar mind where it's like, all right, let's see Mary Poppins. I don't have much expectation for it. And I was blown away by it. Honestly, I really liked the movie.
Oh, dude, I'm so glad. I thought I was going to be like defending this thing.
No. Guys, do we like everything tonight? I don't know. I really enjoyed my time watching this movie. Anna loved it too. My girlfriend, her name is Anna. She was a big fan of the film as well. I just found so much joy in it.
It's jubilant.
It is very jubilant. I think the production design is spectacular.
Yes.
Like I think there's what I've been, and I don't not like putting it down because I think it sucks, but I didn't like Christopher Robin, and it feels like that movie was like batting practice for this movie because that movie's so like dour and it's such a mishmash of ideas, and I don't think Mark Forrester's that great, and like it was punishing Ewan McGregor for being a responsible father, so it's like all these things. It's like okay, that's that. Like good for you doing that. This is the version I want to see of like English throwback reboot drama comedy musical type things because it has everything I'd want out of something like this. Even London looks like alive in this movie compared to the drabness of the Christopher Robin version. So you have like a great colorful movie. Emily Blunt and Lin-Manuel Miranda, they're great here. Like they do a great job. I think another wise choice. The movie focuses on the kids. Like you have all these stars around them, but the movie is like you kind of see it from mostly their perspective, which I think is the best way to handle it. Yeah. The songs. I mean, I can't. You probably out the gate. You probably already like Let's Go Fly Kite's a classic. I can't say if any of these are going to like stand out in the way that like even songs from
impossible. It's hard. I mean, they you got to feel bad for the composers just to begin with coming out of the gate, but like I feel like they were never going to stand next to those songs because we've had them for 50 years.
For sure. But so that's a difficult position to put in. But I still like the music that we got. Yeah.
Yeah. Ditto.
Like even the what seems like an obligatory Meryl Streep cameo in Rob Marshall films like felt like, all right, well, we're stopping dead in our tracks, but she's not ruining this movie for me, so I guess that's fine.
I totally agree. I was thinking I might want to skip past the one on future viewings because it just, like you said, it kind of stopped the movie in its tracks. But even like they're not we don't focus on chimney sweeps in this one like we did in the first one. Now we focus on lamplighters. And they have their, sort of lamplighter / chimney sweep song again. And I was thinking when it started, I was like, oh man, they're just really going to do this beat for beat. But it's so good.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. Yeah, it's enjoyable. It's lively. There's an animation segment that's great in this movie where they, much like the original film, they step into an animated world. And I love the look of that and how visually creative that seemed. All this, by the way, coming from Rob Marshall, a director I do not like very much.
Right.
So it's like this is for me his best movie for one thing, and like a big surprise because like if there was one thing holding me back from thinking this Mary Poppins movie is going to be good, it was like, well, it's Rob Marshall, so we'll see where that goes. But yeah, he impressed me here, along with like everything involved with it. And at the end, even though it's another song that's like approximating another song because it's like about balloons instead of kites, I got emotional. I was like, this is so like
the sentiment is true. You know,
it's
yeah. I think I actually really appreciated the story. I thought Ben, I don't know if I'm gonna say this right, Wishaw. Ben Whishaw, who plays the father. I thought his story was really, I mean, as a grown-up, I could relate, obviously, to the adults more this time for this film. But, like, I was really sympathizing with him. And he has kind of a sad little song at the beginning. And I was like, oh, wow. Yeah. Now he's got me. Like, I'm really on this guy's side, and I'm rooting for him. And, I was feeling their journey the whole way through. And so then the end, of course, is very satisfying. And, I mean, we won't get into spoilers here, but the third act sort of action/climax, will they, won't they sort of moment, I found really thrilling. I thought it was kind of cool the way they with London iconography and all that.
I like how Blunt plays it here, because you're asking a lot for her to, like, you know, recreate Julie Andrews' Oscar-winning performance, and I think she does enough to like make it different. Like, she feels more sardonic, a little more. There's a little more edge, it seems, to this man. Not like a dark way whatsoever, but I mean, I feel like there's enough like separation in them where if you're asking someone to do something like this, I think she brings a flavor to it that works for a new interpretation of Mary Poppins. It still feels, you know, like a good throwback and honors the material. Yeah,
it feels like the same character, but a different and totally reasonable new interpretation. Yeah. So there you go, Zachy. Mary Poppins return.
There we go. We covered a lot of ground there.
She's back.
I know. I've been listening. In
I don't know if you heard. She's returned.
Well, I'm looking forward to the sequel, Mary Poppins Forever, and
I'm waiting for the team up Superman v Mary Poppins.
Yes.
Dawn of Unnecessary Nostalgia sequels.
Right. Or like Poppins v Nanny McPhee or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. There you go. Before we take a break, let's talk about some new trailers that just dropped. Brian, I realized we didn't even really talk about the Avengers Endgame trailer.
Oh wow, have we not? Wow, that's weird.
We have not. So that's a trailer that came out, and it exists. I don't know what.
And I don't know. I'm gonna be there. So
yeah, I mean, I'll say this. I don't think we even need to play any of the audio. I think it does a very nice job of getting you excited without giving anything away. I mean, the 90 seconds or whatever it is basically gives you nothing except, oh, by the way, we're coming back to continue the story.
I mean, I'm very concerned about how Jeremy Renner has become very xenophobic since his family was disappeared, presumably, and now attacks China because of it. Or Japan, either way. Sorry.
Oh, jeez.
I don't even remember.
Because when they see him, he's in the East. I don't know where he is. But he's in a new like guise. He's not Hawkeye anymore.
And he's looking very grumpy, like he has not got his chems in over.
Well, doesn't Jeremy Renner pretty much? He comes at grumpy, like that's his.
Yeah.
Have you seen Tag, Zachy? Okay,
I have not seen Tag.
He's a barrel of smiles in that movie.
Is that movie worth?
Phrase, right? That's a saying. Barrel of smiles.
It is now.
It is now. Yeah.
Hashtag that shit. Is that good, by the way? Tag? Did you like it?
No, it's not good.
Oh, it's not good. Okay, good to know. So yeah, that's a comment. There was also the second trailer for Captain Marvel, Brian.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which again, we'll just do like it's been out for like 2 weeks. We've been busy. You've been living your life. I've been living my life. We haven't been doing this, so we're
doing commentaries too. It's kind of funny.
We have been doing commentaries. But I'll say the second trailer for Captain Marvel did not really move the needle for me.
Agreed. Yeah, it just was like, okay. I mean, we know I'm going to be there, so but it just didn't. It didn't do anything. It didn't show me anything I felt like I hadn't seen or anything. Yeah, move the needle. That's a good way to put it.
I like the first trailer more.
I agree with you.
Set it up. Yeah.
I almost wish they would have left it there because the second one just didn't do much. I mean, I get why they have to put it out to sort of keep the pump primed, but it was kind of meh. And honestly, the first of our trailers, I would call it meh in black. because this is Men in Black International, and it's
Speaking of Nanny McPhee.
Oh
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. I saw that. Yeah. So this is the it's not really a reboot. It's like a sidequel.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to make it one. It stars Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, directed by F. Gary Gray, and let's play some of the audio and then we'll talk about it.
Welcome to MIB. You will be with Agent H, one of the best ever to wear this suit.
Catching up on my daily meditation. Time for lunch, I think. You hungry?
It's 9:30.
Perfect. Tuesday's taco day.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. The two trailers we're talking about today, well, I guess 3 if we include Captain Marvel, but I mean, I'm feeling like trailer fatigue. Is this just me?
I never feel trailer fatigue. I love trailers.
For a lot of these like upcoming these upcoming releases, there's just this weird like sameness where I just look at it and I'm like, am I just not the audience for this anymore? It's my existential crisis.
It comes down to the movie. Like if the trailer didn't sell you, the trailer didn't sell you. Like that's what it is.
It's the 4th of this thing, so you might.
Well, there's my question right there. What do you guys think of the Men in Black series as a whole?
I mean, I don't think anybody likes the second one, but I like the first and the third one.
Same. Third one I don't remember very well. I remember thinking I just like that world, so I probably had an okay time. But I do like the first one a lot.
I really dislike the second one in a way where it frustrates me when it's on like TBS. I'm like, I guess I'll just leave this on. Like,
I hate watch it.
It's like I'm doing work, but I guess Blue Streak's not on. Okay, fine. I'll watch Men in Black 2 for a while. And I'll say this. I think if you take away a nostalgic factor, I think the third one is the best in the series.
No, I agree with you. I agree with this.
I really like the third one. It has this weird emotional aspect to it where it's like, oh, not only am I getting like more of this thing that I like, as well as like Josh Brolin doing his thing, there's also like, oh, we have some like poignancy in the character relationship between K and J now. That's neat. I think 1 is terrific too. It's like splitting hairs between the two.
Well, Aaron, I'll tell you, the beauty of it is that MIB3, because it's based on a Marvel comic, so we realize it's part of the MCU because Luke Cage is Will Smith's father.
I know, right? yeah, Mike Coulter. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow.
I watched it just this year, actually. So I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Luke Cage is his father in this movie.
I don't remember that.
And I will say that, I mean, Men in Black 3 also has of the 2 movies we're talking about right now today that feature Pitbull songs. Men in Black 3 has the better of them. So in saying that about the franchise, I do like this world. And while the New York element is a big part of what I think makes especially the first Men in Black work, if we're making a 4th movie, yeah, okay, I like the idea. We're not going to involve K and J anymore, sure, expand it and move to a different area. See how else this works. There's a lot of world out there. Aliens presumably don't just occupy New York, although it makes plenty of sense. So why not? Why not go out there? And yeah, seeing these two together, I'm not going to say the trailer blew me away, but I did like the energy in it. I liked what I saw so far. I could use more wacky aliens and more humor because I know Chris Hemsworth can be very funny, which seemed like there wasn't enough of that in this trailer. But if you're going to set this up, I was fine with it.
I think that's the problem is that we get Tessa Thompson. Like if they're mixing it up, and you've got Tessa Thompson as the new agent, and so she's like the Will Smith, but they're mixing it up where her partner is the one who's a little bit wacky and she's more serious. Well, that's kind of interesting. But the problem is we just see Chris Hemsworth as like the ass kicker, and I'm kind of like,
he only gets a couple like lines, but.
Yeah, and even the lines are like, like it's not hilarious, you know.
And I would, I guess, if I want to play the optimist, I would say, ideally they're just holding back, and instead of giving you plenty of trailer lines that you get sick of by the time you actually see the movie.
That's true.
But who knows?
Yeah.
I'll say this too.
I'd say I'm probably closer to Aaron with this one. I have a little optimism for it.
I'll just add. I was really into the idea of 21 Jump Street in Men in Black.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I was like, that's such a far out there idea that I wouldn't have expected to happen that I'm sad that it's not happening now. Like that was just
Right.
like when because that came out like in the Sony leaks, right? Where it's like that was one of the many things they're like planning, and one was like an animated Spider-Man movie that can't work, and here we are. And the other was like Men in Black meets 21 Jump Street. It's like that's such a fun like dartboard idea. I want to see what that would look like. And
I remember the conversation was like they would do like a critique and commentary on shared universes, and that's like such. You can see Lord and Miller really going to town on that idea,
But here we are with just a regular old Men in Black movie, and for what it is, I want to play in the Optimus. I'm not gonna say like there's few things will ever beat that the initial teaser for the first Men in Black, where it's just the two of them standing in Queens and they shot down the ship. It's like that's a kick-ass trailer right there. I don't know what this is, but it has Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones is standing look like badasses in front of an alien spaceship. I'm into that. So it's like you can't if you're not matching that. Okay, at least you have a clever idea and a new dynamic to work with.
It'll be interesting because it looks like that Barry Sonnenfeld quirk isn't really present in this one either.
Okay.
So I just wonder what that will be like.
I just realized that too because I like F. Gary Gray. I like to support F. Gary Gray because he's back to Friday. I've been following his movies. Mm-hmm. But it's like the part of what works about Men in Black is that Barry Sonnenfeld is like the co-lead in those movies because of his camera flying around and the like the
fisheye and
he's pulling like Evil Dead moves from Sam Raimi for these Men in Black movies. So.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious. Do you think there's more of an audience for this than there would be for a fourth MIB with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones?
3 was really successful. It went over budget, but it was really successful. Yeah. So I mean, people don't not like those, and Josh Brolin was a good get for it. But I mean, I don't think this movie won't be successful. I think this will play in the same sandbox as something like Jumanji, as far as like, it's a brand that people like. You have likable stars here. And Liam Neeson as like flavoring as well. Like I think there's a lot of ingredients to make for this movie to make money.
Yeah.
Will it make more than a potential Tommy Lee Jones, Will Smith follow up? I have no idea.
That's interesting. I wonder. I mean, say the movie does well. I'm wondering if they would want to, if the goal would be, hey, let's keep going with these two, which is understandable, or hey, let's get Will and Tommy back and do like a bigger, like a universe movie. You know what I mean? Get Josh Brolin back as Thanos. What the hell,
right.
I'll be curious if they have some sort like. Did you notice that there was like a mural to their to J&K's first adventure in the trailer?
No, I didn't see that actually.
Yeah, it's pretty blink and you miss it. But like I think Thompson walks past like 2 like murals, and one of them is J&K like fighting the Edgar bug, and it's like it looks like a Renaissance painting practically, but it's like that's fun.
That's interesting.
I'll be curious if they actually do like have cameos, which doesn't seem like too much of a stretch of the imagination.
That's a good point. So that comes out in June, and then we also have this new Hellboy reboot, and this one is directed by Neil Marshall, and here is the trailer for that. Here's some of the audio.
We're the line in the sand. We fight against the forces of darkness.
This is it.
We're expecting a sign that says secret headquarters.
Oi. I need some ID, love.
Are you serious?
So this is a trailer that I don't know. I was waiting to see it, but I wasn't like anticipating. I was just very curious to see what it looks like because there's certain truths in this world. One of them being the sun will rise in the morning. We will pay taxes, and Ron Perlman was put on this earth to be the human embodiment of Hellboy.
Right.
And so, obviously, when they announced a reboot and they said David Harbour is going to play him, great. Hey, I like David Harbour. But it was interesting to see him like in motion because it felt like David Harbour cosplaying as Ron Perlman as Hellboy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was jarring to see a different sort of facial structure. I agree with that.
It feels cheaper. I mean,
yes.
I know it is cheaper, so that's part of why, but it feels cheaper.
Yeah, it felt a little, and this might be a deep cut, but it was like going from Boris Karloff as the Frankenstein monster to like Glenn Strange as the Frankenstein monster. That's, I think there's like Lon Chaney was in the middle there and Bela Lugosi was in the middle there. But by the time we got to Glenn Strange, it was like I mean, he looks right, but something's slightly off, you know. And I don't even like saying that because I love David Harbour. I just tend to like him and everything he does. But I can't figure. I'm like they've tried twice with Hellboy, and it hasn't caught. And I like both of those Guillermo del Toro movies. I'm like, why do they think this time will be any different? Is kind of my question.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of what I saw here, and I want to walk into any movie and think it's going to be great, and it's annoying to me that I'm not going to see a third Guillermo del Toro Hellboy movie because I like Hellboy. I love Hellboy 2: The Golden Army. I think that movie's fantastic. And if The Dark Knight didn't come out like 2 weeks later, I think we'd be having different conversations about the status of that film. But as it stands, it just feels like a great cult movie that happens to be a giant a big budget comic book movie.
A wannabe blockbuster.
Yeah, a wannabe blockbuster because it didn't do all that well. So like seeing this movie and seeing how not far away from the tone and feel of the Del Toro Hellboy movies just makes me think, God, we couldn't just do a third one instead of this. Like, it's very irritating to me.
Yeah, I mean, you have to imagine that Guillermo del Toro would have been on board with if they were like, we got to bring the budget down. He would have been like, all right, let's find a way. I mean, the guy knows how to make the most of budgetary constrictions if he had the opportunity. But it feels like he didn't even get the chance. It feels like they just went to him. They're like, yeah, we're going to start over.
Well, yeah, it's a mix of like rights, what Mike Mignola wants to do, the many projects that Del Toro's assigned. Although he was campaigning hard, be like, who wants? Like he was like putting on Twitter like, hey, who wants to see a third Hellboy movie? And like him and Ron Perlman be like, hey, support this tweet, and maybe it will happen. Didn't happen, obviously. But it's like, and I didn't like the Billy Idol music use in here. I like David Harbour. I wish this well. Neil Marshall was like, well, that's a nice consolation prize. I like seeing Neil Marshall movies. Like,
sure,
that seems fitting for a Hellboy universe. So, something violent but has like a cheeky sense of humor. But I'm just not. So far, I'm not feeling it. I look forward to seeing more and like kind of turning around on it. But yeah, this one just didn't really sing to me.
Lionsgate is not doing much to impress me lately. We haven't talked on this show about their Robin Hood movie from last month, which Aaron, I'm assuming you've seen.
Which movie? Sorry,
the Robin Hood reboot with Taron.
Oh, the Robin Hood. No, I'm still confused as to what time period it's supposed to take place in. So until I get that cleared up for me, I'm just refusing to go. Like,
I'm the only one who took the bullet.
They have designer clothes, but it's set in past. I don't understand.
That movie, it's nuts, man. They dropped more than $100 million on it, and you cannot see it on the screen. Like I don't know what they spent it on.
How did they not know?
I don't.
$100 million? Are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
I don't understand how that works where you can look at I get they have like 4 in pre-sale, so it ends up costing nothing or whatever, but at the same time, if the three of us can be like a year ahead of time be like, this isn't gonna make money, why are we making this movie? Like, you can tell this off the bat. Like I liked Mortal Engines that came out last week. I liked it more than most. But at the same time, I saw the trailer a year ago. I'm like, this isn't going to make any money. Like, why isn't there someone that could stand up and say something like that ahead of time to save some of these studios some time and effort here?
See, that Mortal Engines, which I didn't see, but I saw the trailer and I'm like, that should be a Netflix 10 episode thing. I could see that. But yeah, it's weird. I mean, obviously there's a broader conversation about why Robin Hood was made because they want it to be, a new franchise out of an IP that people know, and it is garbage. It's just, oh my god, it's so bad. It's...
who was like, man, King Arthur bomb, but will probably work. Like, what is? What's happening here?
I just love that you're on an island with this movie, Zachy. Like, you can't commiserate with anybody.
No one else has seen it. I told you, I went and watched it again. AMC A-list. So I don't feel guilty about spending any money on it. But I was this was Thursday after it opened. So about a week. I was literally the only person in the theater.
Wow.
So this thing, I mean, it died instantly. And deservedly so, which is a shame because it's got a decent cast in there, but this is Lionsgate, so now we got Hellboy. They're trying with Hellboy, and again, it's just weird. Like the trailer, I watched and I'm like, like that was my reaction. I didn't hate it. It was fine, but I'm like, if you're coming out again with the Hellboy, you really got to knock people's socks off. And because the problem is the property is either not known, right? And it's been 11 years now. It'll be 11 years since the last one, so it would be understandable people don't know it. But the people who do know it passionately love the Guillermo del Toro movies.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like, well, if you're just doing like a lower rent version of that, then you're not going to win those people over. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's a shame, and this also seems Spider-Man proving things, like make a CG Hellboy fun movie. You can do all kinds of things in that area. Maybe
that's a good point. It's a good point. So anyway, those both come out next year, and I'm sure when they come out, we'll be talking about them, or perhaps more likely, I will have watched them, and I'll be telling Brian. I'll be like, "Hey, Brian, did you see them?" Nope. All right.
See Men in Black.
Men in Black, you'll be seeing. All right,
we'll talk about that one for sure.
Isn't Hellboy like a week after Shazam too? Like,
oh my gosh, this movie's not going to stand a chance.
What money is this movie going after?
Oh no. Oh geez, okay. While we ponder which audience Hellboy is trying to appeal to, let's take a little break, and we'll come back right after that. And we're back, and just to start things off, a little bit of sad news. The news just broke yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Penny Marshall passed away.
Yeah.
2 days ago. I'm sorry. We're recording this on the 20th, and I mean, it's Gary Marshall just died. What, like 2015, 2016?
Yeah.
Right. So it's that feels very recent, and then it's and we get these headlines more and more these days, unfortunately. But Penny Marshall, obviously, a certain generation remembers her from Laverne and Shirley, but perhaps equally important, if not more important, is her work as a director. A League of Their Own is terrific, obviously big, and that's a big one. No pun intended. And Awakenings, which I really liked.
Yeah, but I say this every now and then because sometimes you get surprised by the things that some people just haven't seen for whatever reason. But if anyone out there has not seen Big, go watch Big. Big is fantastic.
Go big or go home.
That's a movie I did grow up watching. Like, I really like Big a lot. It's
good. It holds up. It's just wonderful.
There's a lot of great things to like about it, and Tom Hanks's performance, and the supporting cast is solid, and just the tone of that movie just really works.
I mean, I think you can do worse than making a double feature out of Big and A League of Their Own. You're going to get two really good Tom Hanks performances.
Yeah.
And two.
And
really
Awakenings in between there. I mean, yeah, it's a good triple play.
Yeah,
that's a baseball reference. That's what I did there.
Nice. No crying for nobody else thinking of that. It's unfortunately it's just one of these things where a lot of these really familiar names. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but growing up, I knew Penny Marshall's name. I just knew it. I knew her as a filmmaker of note.
I always liked. Because she was like it always seems like she was like around Hollywood in the same way that that Gary Marshall and Rob Reiner, for that matter, are like kind of just around Hollywood, where they're just kind of like they pop up here and there, and you're like, oh, that's a recognizable person. So I'm like thinking, really, Penny Marshall, she's like at the end of Get Shorty, she's the director of the Get Shorty movie the movie that they're making. Like when you finally get to like the last scene, it's like she ends up being the director of the movie that Danny DeVito is starring in as Julie Palmer. Like, that's fun. Like, it's just a lot of stuff like that. Like, she pops up in Hocus Pocus. Yeah. Like random roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for our deep cut Simpsons reference of the episode, she's Miss Botts, Babysitter Bandit.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh, that is a deep cut.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's really funny. One of those things, like I was reading this thing about how she and Carrie Fisher were best friends, and then you realize, like, well, geez, both of them are gone now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that the time marches in one direction, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always sobering to be reminded of that. So Penny Marshall, dead at 75, she will be missed.
Yep.
Moving on. This is a piece of news, Brian. I got to tell you, this news I had no doubt about.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But whatsoever.
Let the record show.
Let the record show. I as surely as Ron Perlman was put on this earth to play Hellboy, I knew that we were going to be getting a Doctor Strange sequel, and I feel like I need to fill Aaron in here. So, Aaron, in the lead up to Avengers: Infinity War, I staked out my line in the sand. I was like, let me tell you what's going to happen, everybody. They're going to kill off Doctor Strange like right up top in Infinity War. And it's going to blow your mind. It's a total red herring. And I was like, if you notice, nobody's talking about a Doctor Strange sequel. They're setting you up to think there's going to be a sequel. There's not going to be one. That's what's going to happen, and I was completely wrong. Well, I was partially wrong because he did die in the film.
Died. He's dead. I don't even know where this is going.
There you go.
How's the sequel work? I just think going to be focused on Baramoto.
It's going to be the sequel will star a bucket of dust. That's going to be.
I thought I was just going to follow Chiwetel Ejiofor taking magical powers away from cripples.
I know it's going to be Benny Wong just carrying this bucket of sand around.
I'd watch the fuck out of that movie.
I think so. I think it'd be good.
By the way, that sounds like a book I'd have to read in college. Bucket of Dust. It's pretty good, Jackie. I think you should do something with that.
It's just Wong still listening to Beyonce. He's like in a remake of Lemonade.
So they are doing the sequel, and I think we talked about that a few months ago. But what makes me happy is that Scott Derrickson, who directed the first one, and in my opinion, did a very good job with the first one, he will be back for the second one. Scott Derrickson, by the way, who just lost his house. In the campfires a couple was it last month?
Yeah.
But I'm glad he's going to be back because I'll tell you, I listened to his commentary track on the first film, and Scott Derrickson loves Doctor Strange. You can tell, and I find that impressive in and of itself because I like Doctor Strange, but to have encyclopedic knowledge of Doctor Strange, ephemera, that shows that you've been into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, got the right man for the job.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And to me, I think I've said this before, Doctor Strange has never been one of those characters where I was like, does anybody love Doctor Strange? It's like everybody knows Doctor Strange. You don't mind Doctor Strange when you read the comics, but, when you can tell he loves it. And I've said before, the first film to me is one that my opinion of it has grown every time I've seen it. And I can't say that for many of the first, MCU firsts. Mm-hmm. But there's a richness to it, in my opinion, and I think his journey is an emotionally fulfilling one, at least for me.
Yeah.
I will say that I do like it more now than when I initially saw it. That said, I like the character of Doctor Strange a lot because of Infinity War, as opposed to the movie. I think that movie did. I mean, it helps that he's just he's a more lived-in version of him. Like Benedict Cumberbatch is Benedict Timothy Carlton Cumberbatch. I know his full name. He's very British. That British. Timothy Carlton. But he's so dialed into that character at that point, and he's more lived into being used to being this kind of magical presence that I think his Infinity War performance is pretty spectacular.
I agree.
So if I get to see more of that take on him in a new film directed by Derrickson, who did pull off some pretty impressive visual feats in a film franchise that sometimes wavers on how strong the visuals are. I do think there's a lot of potential there for some solid success in a superhero.
You know what's interesting to me? When I think of Doctor Strange, the moments that stick out most to me, there's two. There's when Tilda Swinton's about to die and she's on the balcony with Cumberbatch, and they're just talking, and the contents of their conversation are very thoughtful and emotional, and it's just this performance. You're watching these two actors play off each other, and then earlier in the film when Chiwetel Ejiofor and him are they're engaged in a shouting match. Those are the moments that really stick out to me. And I was thinking about how, at least lately, these Marvel movies have really excelled at stuff like that, where it's just you have scenes where just you're watching actors play off each other, and that's where those are some of the strongest moments in the film. Because even Spider-Man: Homecoming, when Michael Keaton's in the car with and he's just like, "I just saved your life. What do you say?" And you're like, "Oh my God,"
Yeah.
And it's that's probably one of the best scenes in the whole movie,
I mean, I would say all the MCU's what the biggest, and we'll talk about this with Aquaman too, but I think the biggest aspect of MCU is how much you like seeing these actors as these characters, and the the supplement is, oh yeah, I also get to get colorful action sequences with them beaming at each other and what have you. But I mean, you can take that, that Tom Holland Michael Keaton interaction, you can take that back to Jeff Bridges and Robert Downey Jr. in the first Iron Man when like Bridges reveals how evil he truly is. It's like there's always been a good use of these actors, regardless of how good the films are around them. That I think is why this whole franchise has been so successful.
Well, there is a special kind of magic hearing Jeff Bridges say, "Tony Stark built this in a cave with a bunch of scraps."
Well, I'm not Tony Stark, sir.
and that's Ralphie from Christmas Story.
Yep, Billingsley.
Do you remember that, Brian? How I
do, because he has that awkward fake bald spot on top.
Yeah, it's a weird haircut they gave him.
And I was like, why would they do that? And then when you find out that it's sort of a very, very, very deep cut cameo, you're like, oh, okay.
But Doctor Strange 2 is coming. It's going to be part of the next phase of the MCU, and I'm happy about that. Other MCU properties that are not going to be part of future phases are the mass casualties we've had at Netflix. Which is
the snap got more than just half.
I was about to say is Thanos going into overtime. Yeah, so we already lost Iron Fist. Iron Fist was the first casualty, and I think that was part of the okay. I think everybody kind of saw that coming.
Well, did you guys watch the second season of Iron Fist?
I liked the second season of Iron Fist.
It's kind of great.
It is. I agree with you. Yeah, it was a shame. I mean, I think unfortunately it was like too little, too late, but. It was very good. But again, I wasn't surprised when the axe fell, right? And then like a week later, it's like, oh, and by the way, Luke Cage is gone. And you're like, huh? And then Daredevil season 3 drops, and the reaction is just, people are singing praises from every corner. And I have not watched Daredevil season 3 yet, but
it's also pretty great. Like
that's
this is my favorite season of Daredevil.
And so everyone was like, well. Obviously, Daredevil is safe. Like, that was the presumption. And then Netflix is like, nah, you're cut. It's like Homer in that episode where he's just...
Yeah, where he's the football coach?
Yeah.
So you better believe you're cut.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's been like more than a decade since I've seen that episode.
So this is interesting because now the question is like, well, what's going on? And it sure looks like Netflix is basically... they're drawing up lines in the sand because they're like, if Disney is starting its own streaming thing, then we don't want to have anything to do with Disney properties. That's my sense anyway.
Well, I think it's probably just expensive to have them to begin with, and it's like, true. If we're gonna make Alfonso Cuarón and Coen Brothers movies, we could probably use our resources elsewhere than licensing this thing that's going to keep costing us an arm and a leg when we can continue being successful.
That's actually a good point because these shows were announced in like 2013. And Netflix was in a very different place back then.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just in 5 years, Netflix has become dominant in a way that they were an upstart. Because back then it was like, what do they have? They had House of Cards, I think. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, in terms of bait, this was great bait. And then now it's just something they may not need anymore. But it's one of the stipulations that's interesting is that Disney can't use these characters for 2 years.
Well, here's the question. Is it that they can't they can't do like a show about them for 2 years, or that they can't even have them in something else for 2 years?
I'm not sure. It just says the clause prevents the characters from appearing in any non-Netflix series or film for at least 2 years after cancellation.
Okay. Well, I mean, but
I can't imagine that means the characters themselves. I'd have to think it's specifically the actors involved in these properties being...
Okay, well, so if you're Disney, you wait 2 years, and that's not that long. That's basically the length of time between one movie and a sequel.
I mean, and they've got so much at the starting gate already. I mean, it's this is time to start planning.
I mean, but here's the question, right? Because the when this all started, it was it's all connected. Hashtag it's all connected. And, we know now that there's basically a Berlin Wall between Marvel movies and Marvel TV.
Mm-hmm.
So, in other words, you're more likely to see DC characters appear in a Marvel movie than the Netflix characters appear in a Marvel movie.
Right.
So then, now that these shows are getting canceled, what does that say? Like, does the Netflix universe, quote unquote, of shows, does it get absorbed into the movie universe, or do the movie people be like, no, we're gonna do like our Daredevil?
I don't know, but I would be inclined to believe that
They would just restart.
Like, leave it at Netflix. The Netflix incarnations stay at Netflix. That'd be my guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of if the actors involved have really moved on to anything besides doing these things. But then again, they've all been so focused on these shows. It's not like they've had a chance to kind of like expand to films. That said, other people that have been in TV shows have certainly found their way into films all of a sudden or what have you. So that's a tough situation to be in. But yeah, if you're waiting a couple of years and it's like, by the way, guys, Daredevil's back, and it's like on Disney Plus, and it's like, okay.
Right.
Sure. Like, are we still going to be kind of like chomping at the bit for the rest of the adventures of I'm sure there will be some people, but
did you watch all of season 3?
Yeah.
Does it end on a cliffhanger?
No, it doesn't, and it actually the end is probably the weakest part of Daredevil season 3. A lot of people have kind of said the same thing, where it's like it just kind of ends with a whimper. Like, it's a good build up to all of it, and like from a Daredevil versus evil standpoint, that part gets solved. It's just more of like where we're left hanging. Yeah, there's not much of a drive towards like, and now this is going to happen.
Okay.
It's just more of like, yeah, there's some bad guys are still out there, but the law firm, yay. Like, that kind of
okay. I'm very curious. I'm very curious if, like, Kevin Feige wants control over these characters. He did not have control over any of the Netflix shows. So
exactly.
I mean, given the because even the stuff that's on Disney Plus, that's going to be through the movie side.
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah, because like the Loki show and the
Winter Soldier,
the Bucky Falcon Variety Hour, and the,
right,
the Scarlet Witch sing along, and all these things.
But I will say it would be a shame if these versions did kind of get left to the side, because I think Charlie Cox is so good as Matt Murdock, and he's just as perfect in the role as any of the movie actors have been in their respective roles.
Yeah.
So it'd be a shame, to lose that.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, it's like, some things just kind of go away, and they got
That's just how it happens.
You got 3 seasons, and you did what you could. I mean, so we don't have to be surprised when Punisher and Jessica Jones are immediately canceled after their seasons air next year, right? We can just get past that already.
Yeah, I think everyone pretty much knows that's
we can just skip that part.
I didn't even think about the hanging around because the seasons haven't been released yet. That's just like save a little face for them, let them come out the gate, and then we'll
cancel.
You're cut.
I mean, I'm sure they probably have to know already at this point. Where
I'm sure, but
yeah, I'm sure
won't do it in the press just yet.
and yeah, exactly. I did forget about that part too, where they have the other Marvel movie-based TV shows that are coming. And at the same time, I think we went over this on one of your various Facebook posts, where it's like, I know the Disney Plus service doesn't plan to have like TVMA properties on there, right? So either they'd have to really water down these shows, or just not do it differently at this point, because it's
what I could see happening potentially is if Hulu is going to have a majority Disney ownership, they could put their mature shows there.
True.
So it's off of Netflix, like The Punisher, let's say, right? You drop that on Hulu.
That's true,
right?
Yeah. Doesn't feel as clean though, doesn't it? When they have Disney Plus and they're like, this is Disney's hub, and just to kind of have stuff willy nilly on different services. I don't know, but I mean, it's like Touchstone back in the day.
Right, exactly. I mean, if you're Disney, the umbrella organization, I mean, you need venues for stuff that's not purely aimed at the Disney audience.
It will be interesting too when Fox comes into the fold. Because I mean, Disney has always been somewhat of a family brand, and so what does that even mean when Fox gets absorbed by Disney and is Disney? I mean, those
they tested those waters last week with Once Upon a Deadpool, so we know what that, or presumably you can know what that's like, because they've they found a way to do it. Essentially,
but that one pretty much died on the vine, right? I mean, it didn't do.
Well, it died as far as people don't need to go to see a movie they already saw in a watered down version, but as far as it's basically Fox publicly testing something.
Yeah, gotcha.
It's like so, like they're aware that this can work. Perhaps not the best example was to have a 1,000-screen release of a movie people already saw, but as far as so people looked at this screening and were like, well, yeah, it doesn't not make sense in this form. It's just you chopped up a movie to do it, but yeah, it's proof of concept, I suppose.
Sure. Well, I'm sure Fox will be sort of stumbling around in the darkness trying to figure out where it fits.
As long as Magneto lifts something heavy in an Avengers movie, I think they'll be fine.
Is that too much to ask? I ask you. Well, speaking of stumbling around in the darkness trying to find your way, Brian, I'm hearing some music, which I think means not Netflix, MoviePass is back in the news.
My old pal MoviePass.
Brian had a brief
summer.
You had a brief summer fling with MoviePass, didn't you?
I did. You know what? I regret nothing. I still came out of that one ahead.
My June MoviePass was killer. I crushed it in June. I saw so many movies.
Yeah.
August sucked.
Yeah, well, there was a precipitous decline. I saw things that I wouldn't have likely seen in the theater otherwise. It was a great time. I'll never forget it. But then it was just through their service, nothing became available, and so it was just inevitable. You're going to have to jump ship at some point.
When I was 17, I had a very good MoviePass.
Yeah.
Well, I've been getting emails from them constantly, like, we got our new plan. It's like $60 a month or something like that for whatever the hell. I don't know. They're trying to get me to come back.
I feel like I found the secret because I don't get anything from them anymore, so I did it right.
Well, I guess whatever you did works. But
I did sign up for Cinemia.
So. I did too, and I used it for Aquaman today. It saved me $19 damn dollars.
95.
Yeah.
Well, so what's the latest with MoviePass, Brian?
Well, MoviePass, dealing with its bankruptcy and stock that's worth less than a penny, decided to go into producing movies. So they're going to or financing movies.
And they financed like the worst reviewed movie of the year,
I
right?
guess. Yeah, the John Gotti biopic with, I guess it's called Gotti, with John Travolta had a 0% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So, hey, Bruce Willis was like, that's good enough for me. And he's going to be he has a 3-picture deal with MoviePass Films. See, and remember back in the day, which, by the way, we're M. Night Shyamalan fans.
Have a good time.
But there was a time, like, we're happy Shyamalan's back, but there was a time when trailers would come out and it would say from M. Night Shyamalan, and it would induce rolls of laughter from the theater.
Yes.
Right? So can you imagine, like, MoviePass presents? That's just something you don't want attached to your film, I don't think. But they, I guess, apparently absorbed a production company previously known as Emmett Furla Oasis Films, or EFO Films. And they, I guess, had already made 14 movies. They had produced 14 movies with Bruce Willis already, and apparently there's 3 movies left.
All classics.
Yeah, well, the only one you've probably heard of is 16 Blocks, but the rest are...
Well, Emmett Furla also did Rambo, the last Rambo movie.
Did they really? Oh, interesting.
Now, Brian, I don't know if you knew this. Back in Chicago, I used to work for a company called Furla Vision.
Well, go on.
And it was a wedding videography company, and it was owned by a guy named Peter Furla. Peter Furla's brother is George Furla, he of Emmett Furla Productions.
Really?
Yeah. So I remember being at like a holiday party and just shooting the breeze with George Furla, and he's like, "We got this movie coming up. It's I got Tom Cruise picked it up as a producer. It's called Narc."
Huh.
Yeah. And then remember you and I went to see Narc. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's MoviePass. Like I said, unfortunately, I think just the name alone feels like a punchline these days. But
it is. MoviePass, produced by MoviePass, is like it's like a WPWR Saturday afternoon movie where you're like, well, this is not going to be good,
Yeah, they need to open up like a different wing and give it a different name.
They need to call it something else.
I'll add this. American Animals, I really liked.
Yes, I haven't seen that.
Which was an acquisition, right? It wasn't a produced film, but they certainly put their name on it.
To be fair, yeah, they put that out this summer as well.
Well, looking at EFO, I didn't realize EFO Films was. It's like it's exactly what like it's part of Movie Pass or what have you. There's a lot of notable films on here. That's for sure.
See, to me, I'm more amused by sort of like the thinking that Bruce Willis having an overall deal is something that's gonna like put butts in seats. Like I almost feel like Bruce Willis's name on a movie these days is the thing that's gonna prompt your eye rolls than even seeing Movie Pass.
It's not about domestic. I mean, that's the thing though. Bruce Willis is a draw.
International?
He's a draw overseas. He's an international draw. I mean, when you remember when Expendables 3 happened and he bowed out because he wanted like 7 million and still don't know he wanted to give him 6 or some nonsense like that. But Willis is smart. Like,
no. It was
$1 million a day.
It was $1 million. He wanted $4 million for 4 days' work, and they wanted to give him $3 million for 4 days' work.
Yeah, I understand how bad that sounds, and I don't like Willis as far as his laziness in recent years, and I hope Glass is like him trying again because it's been several years since I've seen that. But at the same time, it's like he's not an idiot. He knows that putting his name on something does something to the box office overseas. That is a big part. That's a big part of his draw still. So it's it's not about like selling it here necessarily because movies work differently here. If you get international rights and you can say Bruce Willis is in our movie, that's going to go a long way. It does. That's just the case. It seems weird, maybe, but it does.
Yeah.
Still.
Well, there we go. Bring on Die Hard Year One, then, right?
Jeez. 16 Blocks is a better Die Hard movie than that last fucking Die Hard movie.
16 Blocks is really good.
It's a solid. It's still Robert what's his name? Dick Donner's last movie, right?
Is that the last movie he directed?
I believe so.
Wow. That's
just he just hangs out and like gives like recorded speeches to people celebrating Superman all the time now. I think.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. He's earned it.
There's nothing wrong with that. No, I'm not going to say that.
But let's take one more break and then we'll come back and we'll talk some spoilers about 2 big new releases. And we're back, and like I said, we got 2 major releases in the market right now, and I gotta say, I kind of love the fact that within a week of each other, we have a Spider-Man animated movie and then an Aquaman movie. I'm like, this is amazing. Like
they're going to say it. And an Aquaman animated movie because that certainly feels like the case.
It's like 75% animated. That is true. It's a great time to be watching these movies if you grew up just being a geek. And I always tell people that. I'm like, in 1 year, we started this year with Black Panther, which, I remember growing up and, the thought of there being a Black Panther movie never even occurred to me because I was like, of course we'll never get a Black Panther movie. And yet here we are, and it's like the number 3 movie of all time. We got Thanos versus everybody. We got Cable and Deadpool. We got Miles Morales as Spider-Man. We got Aquaman. What a time. It's an embarrassment of riches. I love it. Some people do not love it. But let's start with the movie that I think we'll all be in agreement on, which is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And Brian, I think I told you, I was like, if you came out of this movie not liking it, we should just end this show. We should just not even do it anymore. Because
I told that to my guest on our podcast Out Now last week, because he was slightly lesser on it than the rest of us, and I'm like, really? I like this movie so much it makes me bad that you don't like it more. That's what I told him.
Well, okay. So Aaron, let's start with you. Why did you like it so much?
I mean, so many reasons. The from a visual standpoint, I think it's a kind of movie that feels like a chapter mark as far as where things could go next as far as big budget animated movies, where we've had the CG animation movies and we've had even like a reprisal of stop motion animation with Leica and what have you, and now we have this where it feels like a comic book is constantly being thrown at you and saying, look at how amazing it is to see this thing in motion. There's such a skillful display of talent here of seeing even just down to the little dots on all the characters and whatnot. It's such a wonderful looking film that feels unlike anything that I have seen before on this sort of scale. From a story standpoint, it's terrific. It somehow balances being a Miles Morales story as well as being a kind of a buddy mentor comedy and being this like psychedelic interdimensional movie. And it packs emotion within that as well. Like I care about everything that's going on, despite all the visual chaos, because it's organized chaos. And it's just like it's fun. Like it's such a fun display of like, look at all this imagination we have and how we were able to pull it off.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us do this for you. And the other thing, I'm a mixed race person. I get to see like someone that looks more like me on screen in one of these movies. That's the kind of feeling I don't get to have all that often when it comes to these giant things. And then this year, like you just mentioned, Zachy, I got Black Panther in February, and I get Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse in December to close it up. It's like, yay, good for this. But in having that, it also isn't a movie. But Black Panther, there's a necessity because it's in an African nation, a fictional African nation, where you need to like incorporate that racial element to some degree. This one, it doesn't matter. Like it's there, but it's not like we need to do, like the movie doesn't have to like bend over backwards and be like, guess what? Miles is black because of this, and these are things that are going on. He's black half black, half Latin. Instead, it's just like, no, this is just how it is. Just like Peter Parker's white, and we don't need to go into that. We don't need to necessarily go into this. Yet that does inform who he is and who his family is. It's wonderful for all of those reasons.
Yeah.
It's this wonderful just hodgepodge of so many creative ideas and positive messaging and reasons that people can, like kids can go and see this and be like, that's cool. Why is it cool? Because it just is. It's just everything about this. There's nothing that's commenting on something necessarily but to make some broader point. It just exists as a thing that works. I'm very enthusiastic about Spider-Man.
No. I mean,
I saw it like back at the end of November, and I was just like waiting to burst out with all the thoughts I had about this movie because it's just so impressive.
Yeah, I saw it. It's funny because the Sony people, they showed it to us early as well because they wanted, before the voting, and they were smart to do that because this thing is just sweeping at all the critic awards for best animated feature. I mean, this is a very serious shot at winning the Oscar. It's certainly being nominated, and I think rightly so, both in stylistically and in narrative terms. Brian, we haven't really gotten into it too much. What did you feel going in and coming out?
Well, from the very first trailer, I thought it looked really exciting. I loved the whole sort of fresh new thing we were seeing with the animation, and I was really excited. Like it had that kind of staccato look, but it was a tease, so you weren't quite sure what that was actually going to look like.
Right.
And so I had anticipation for this the whole way. And yeah, I thought, Aaron, everything you said, I just mirror it. I mean, I felt like I was seeing something new.
Yes.
And like, how often does that ever happen? And with a comic book movie, you know what I mean?
Right.
And there's just so much detail in this movie, but at the same time, it doesn't feel chaotic. I even wrote it down because I didn't want to forget it, Aaron. You said it's like well-organized chaos. Mm-hmm. Like some movies just, devolve into chaos and you're like, okay. And you cross your eyes. This is like well-organized chaos, and it is completely comprehensible and thrilling. And like all the stuff that's going on, there's a part where someone throws a bagel and it hits someone in the head, and like the word bagel just appears above the guy's head. I mean, it's just like these little details that I know I'm going to keep catching, the more that I watch it. And on top of all that, I'm saying all this sort of aesthetic things. I just really love this story. I love these characters. I love Miles Morales. I've never read a Miles Morales comic book. I want to now. Huh. And I was telling my friends, like, I like Spider-Man fine. I didn't really grow up reading him. I like him because of the movies and whatnot, but I'm playing the PS4 game right now, and after walking out of this movie, this is like the most excited I've ever been about Spider-Man.
Oh, it's been a great year for Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah,
not a great year for the Daily Bugle. I mean, they had to fire Eddie Brock, and he did his own thing. But Spider-Man, great.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just on top of all the exciting things that come along with a superhero film. Like, I really loved Miles' relationship with his uncle. I thought that was really interesting. I loved his relationship with his parents, especially his dad. There's just a lot of heart going on here too. Like everything is paid due attention, and it all works for that reason.
The voice cast is really worth calling out because Marshall Ali was terrific as the Uncle Aaron. Mm-hmm. But Shamik Moore as Miles, there's like just a naturalism to the way he. I mean, it doesn't sound like a cartoon voice, but also Jake Johnson was so good as Peter Parker.
He's great, yeah, he's really great in this movie.
I mean, it's really it's hard to explain. Like I think for me, especially, I mean, and Brian, we talk about this all the time, right? This idea of superhero fatigue, and I tend not to feel that because I'm always excited to see a superhero movie. But this one ends, and I'm like, this was next level.
Yeah.
This was
how many billions of dollars of superheroes movies made this year?
Right, but you know what I mean? It's like a lot of, like, for me, I watch something like I don't know, like Venom, right? And I'm like, it was fun, and then you watch something like Black Panther.
$850 million. I mean, people liked it.
Well, no, I mean, right, because you pay your money, you have fun, and you don't regret that, right? Well, I mean, I didn't regret it. A lot of people did. A lot of people hated it. But there's only a handful, to me, of like comic book movies that transcend the genre, right? Like The Dark Knight ended, and right. I'm like, I just saw something I've never seen before.
Yeah.
And to me, like, I put Spider-Verse into that camp. I put it at like Dark Knight level, where it did something I've never seen with this genre, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll modify my point. I'll say that yes. I mean, there's obviously a new superhero movie comes out and it feels like a national or a worldwide requirement that we go and see them. And yes, they're popular enough where some people see them many times, so they make tons of money. That's just the staple right now. It's the Western.
Right, and I like them. I mean, I'm a fan of the genre, so it's this is not me being critical of like, oh, there's so many. But there's different.
Yeah, but as far as seeing something that's taking an evolutionary leap with what we're capable of, this is a great. This is a great benchmark for that.
I mean, because it's up on YouTube. The scene where it's like the montage where Miles puts on the costume for the first time and he jumps off the building, and when he embraces his role.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even playing. I've watched that scene like literally dozens of times over the last couple of days. I just love watching it.
Mm-hmm.
The artistry of it and stuff, and that's I mean, we've had this if you include the guest appearances, we've had 8 Spider-Man movies since 2002.
Yeah,
right.
Something along those lines, sure.
Right. There's the 3 Raimi ones, 8. So this would be 9. This is number 9.
Sure.
So in 16 years, 9 movies, and so for number 9 to be the one where you're like, wow, you know.
I mean, I do tend to say this. I've yet to see a bad Spider-Man movie.
I agree with you. I mean, I can find something to like about every single one of them. Even the ones people hate, which is Amazing 2 and Spider-Man 3. There's stuff in them I like. I'm an easy lay when it comes to Spider-Man.
I'll say this about Amazing 2. I think anyone that says Amazing 2 is worse than Amazing 1 just decided to just lump into a pile of people that wanted to hate Amazing 2 without actually like bothering to see it. Because I think that we
Brian, you like the second one better than the first one, right?
It has great stuff in it. It's not just like, hey, we remade the first one, but with new people. It's like really trying to be something out there, which I really enjoy.
I mean, I just rewatched it recently, and it's like the problem. You can see the stitching where like there's like the smaller movie that Mark Webb was presumably trying to make, but there's the Avi Aradism of the whole thing.
Oh, you mean Spider-Man's greatest villain? Yeah,
that's right. But
actually, that's one thing about Spider-Verse. This feels like the least affected movie by Avi Arad. This feels like a movie where it's like they actually like pushed him aside and said, "No, stop it," and like they just did their own thing.
No,
and they made something super successful.
But you need the Venom in there because
I think he was satisfied by it's like, wait, there's many Spider people? We can make all kinds of toys. And like, yeah, we can. You get on that. We'll be over here. And they just made this movie, and it was great.
Yeah, it's really something special. What I wrote in my review is I hope people won't be like, oh, it's a cartoon. Like, don't bother. Because it's a good film regardless of whether it's animated or not.
Yeah, agreed.
Any other thoughts about Into the Spider-Verse from him?
No, I mean, not without going into spoilers.
Do we want to do spoilers? Do we want to bother? Or do we want to just...
We don't have to for listeners' safety's sake, but just to say beyond spoilers, without saying what they are, they're just some really... I like that the movie takes its time to breathe and has some, to have these nice moments. I don't think this is a spoiler to say, but the Stan Lee cameo in there,
yes,
I thought was such a... On so many levels that I wish I could say a little bit more, but just a really tender scene that really just kind of gripped my heart.
I agree.
Another one where I saw because I saw that again end of November, so it was like a couple days after he passed away.
Oh,
so
wow.
it hit a lot harder than you would kind of expect in a movie like this. But it is like a very poignant scene for him, and it's the kind of scene. I think a friend of mine, critic Scott Mendelson, he put this out there pretty well. It's like it's such a good cameo that he hopes that there's not a cameo in it. I hope they take away the Avengers Endgame cameo just to make this his final movie, because it's a perfect like kind of end point for him as far as his
it would be. I agree. Yeah. And one thing I'll say is when you can make your audience just as invested in your main character as in a cartoon pig, you're doing something right. You know, I think Spider Ham, voiced by John Mulaney, you know, he gets his own little arc in the movie, and you know, once his portion of the film is over, you feel a little sad.
Talk about using a character just the right amount, because that's the thing that can easily go overboard, but they use just the right amount of him to like make it not seem like too crazy. It's just like, yeah, that's right. And Mulaney's amazing, so that helps too, along with like Nicolas Cage doing Cagney.
Nicolas Cage was having more fun in like the 10 minutes he's in this movie, if that, than maybe the last 10 years of movies he's done, notwithstanding like Mandy.
Yeah, it's a great like read on Spider-Man noir. I love that. So I love all the like the different ways they incorporated all of Spider-Man-dom into this movie. And again, doesn't make it feel overstuffed with anything. It's like this movie understands like that there's 70 years of history of this character, and it finds a way to tribute like so much of it within just one movie. I can't wait to see what else they do in this universe, this Spider-Verse.
Well, and this movie ends with Brian, the literal blue beam into the sky. And I'll be damned if they didn't make it work.
Yeah, no, it's great. And then in fun credit stuff too for people.
Yes,
I think by now people are pretty trained in that.
By the way, and Liev Schreiber was really good as Kingpin.
Yeah,
I liked his take on it, and I liked all the villain designs, and I liked his as well, as far as being like this massive thing that was the Kingpin.
Yeah, he looked like an impressionist painting, kind of completely, you know, all the other characters are sort of relatively realistic looking, and then you just have him looking like sort of a Bill Sienkiewicz painting, you know.
Well, it's like Scorpion and Green Goblin, like all of them are like represented in these like wild and crazy ways compared to the people around them. It's a neat approach to all of this.
Yeah, and you know, a couple days ago, somebody on my social media was like, you know, I think Miles Morales is a good character, but they should give him his own name. He should have his own identity. And I was like, no, man, you don't get it. He's Spider-Man. Like that. It's like, oh no, like I think, you know, the idea that, oh, if he gets his own identity, that's a promotion. It's like, no, that's a demotion. Because Spider-Man is the title, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I look at my kids. My 5-year-old is like, you know, he's just full on super Spider-Man fan right now. So he actually turned 5 last week, and the day after was like the press screening for Into the Spider-Verse. So is like, oh, now that you're 5, you can come to the movies with, and he was just in hog heaven, you know, because he's like just soaking in Spider-Man stuff right now. But you know, you show him a picture of Peter Parker in the costume and Miles Morales in the costume, and he's just like, no, well, that's Spider-Man and that's Spider-Man.
Yeah,
that's Spider-Man. That's like kids don't have a problem with it. That's my point.
Yeah.
Right? Like kids get it. They're like, well, that's that one and that's that one and whatever.
I mean, that's also a sneaky way of saying you're a good father, but you know, whatever.
But it's like it's the grown-ups who are like the crotchety, grumpy people. Like,
see, I haven't even heard that.
Well, yeah, you can't have women with the Force, Zachy. That just doesn't make any sense. I don't.
See, I wonder if because I stay away from Twitter, I don't have to hear half of this garbage.
Yeah,
that probably helps.
You know, I spent like maybe a year of this show basically teasing Brian to get on Twitter, and I gave that up long ago because I realized what just a giant cesspit it is, and I'm like, you know, I'm like Andy Dufresne every week, you know. It's just,
I mean, Kylo Ren had to be lying about Rey's parents, right? I mean,
Zaki Hassan crawled through a river of shit. Moving on.
Wataneo, where there was no reception. Yeah.
Now moving on. Don't take that what I just said to be a transition that's any kind of reflection on our next film, which is Aquaman. The much derided character of Aquaman, who has spent most of his 80 years as sort of a punchline.
Let's all get into our pools first before we start recording this part of the episode.
Bloop, bloop.
Now I have to say I've always been an Aquaman fan. I remember in the 90s I used to read the comic books that Peter David was writing, and I was always one of those people. I was like, man, Aquaman's cool. You don't know what you're talking about. He's cool. And so this is the movie that I've been hoping for, where I liked this movie. I think it is nuts. It is bonkers. It has Aquaman riding around on a seahorse, because it's basically saying, yeah, Aquaman rides around on a seahorse. What do you want to do about it? I love that this movie exists in the way that it exists, and I'm fascinated by the online conversation, because just sort of looking at the critic views on Rotten Tomatoes, it's like the same stuff people love is the same stuff people hate. So this is one of those movies that you will either like it or you won't, and I think going into the theater whether you will like it or you won't.
Accurate.
I was just gonna say accurate,
right? So I'm Brian. You just got out, so I got to hear your thoughts on this. Let me preface this by saying, I have a feeling I know your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah,
I feel like I can imagine if you know this character and this world, this must be thrilling seeing all this come to life. But I don't. I mean, other than I just know Aquaman exists, and I definitely didn't hate it, but I did spend some time wondering if I enjoyed this or Venom more.
Okay.
And I think you've got to go into this. You know what the thing is too? I think we basically have, and I say this in this movie's favor, you have either the movies that take themselves deadly serious and they're trying to be like The Dark Knight, or you have the movies that are like Marvel and they're just really perfectly crafted engines that have the right amount of humor, the right amount of character, the right amount of drama. And then you've got like this one that's just trying to have a blast. And I think it succeeds in having a blast, but I felt a little bit like I was watching it from the sidelines.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
I totally get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because the dialogue is really bad, and at first it was making me laugh, and then I started being like, I'm trying not to like root against this movie, but like I can't tell if this movie's good or not. Like I couldn't tell in the middle, and particularly when they're in the Sahara, and their sort of banter,
and it's terrible banter.
Yeah, and.
But I think they're better than the banter. That was my thought. I was like, the dialogue is crap, but I think these two actors have chemistry, and I think they're fun. That was my thought watching them.
I agree with that. So I mean, we'll get into specific. I had wrote down a couple specific things, but I just caught my eye. This was one of the movies where my eyes glazed over with a lot of it. Though I will say that some of the action was really good. The action in Italy I thought was really great.
Yes,
I love the opening on the submarine, which is in the trailer. I thought that was really like kind of playful. Like the way that he's just like dispensing these guys. In particular, he puts this guy over his shoulder and then walks through a doorway and knocks him off of himself. And I thought that was like a lot of fun. I thought Jason Momoa is like great. He's super charming, especially after seeing him on SNL. It sort of solidified like, oh yeah, I think I like this guy. You know what I mean? Like he's a guy who kind of.
Did you see the sketch, by the way, where he's the elf on the shelf?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I like that one. I love the one where he's looking for Ben.
I was hoping you were going to say that one.
Yeah, that where he's playing like a dad and he's running around the house like I gotta find.
Oh yeah,
this guy.
that's good too.
Yeah. Oh my God, look that one up. The Beck Bennett and Jason Momoa as the dad. I've been trying to explain this sketch to people because no one saw it. I've talked to people who didn't stick around.
But it's really funny.
It is so funny, and he proves what a great actor he is in both of those sketches. By the way, the whole Elf on the Shelf thing. I mean, if you could just put some actors reading cue cards, that's one thing. But he's actually acting in that sketch, and that's why it's so funny.
Yeah.
But well, I'll get into a couple.
Anyway, Aquaman
later. But yeah, I just. I can't say that I think it's a bad movie. I just felt on the outside of the whole time, and I'm like, I bet people who are gonna go in and know they're gonna love it are gonna love it, and I'm really happy for them.
See, you know what I would say? I didn't so much love the movie. I loved how much it was trying to do. Does that make sense?
It's stuff. There's like 5 plots in this thing.
I feel like James Wan knew exactly the tone he was shooting for, which was kind of this heightened. Rob Kelly, who's a friend of the show, and he is like the proprietor of the Aquaman shrine, and he's about as big an Aquaman fan as it gets. He said that it felt like Richard Donner crossed with Flash Gordon.
Oh, interesting. And I actually had him in mind, and I was trying to look through it. I think that's why I said that. My sort of caveat at the beginning was like, this must be like so exciting for people who've waited long time to see this character realized. And again, we'll get into spoilers, but at the beginning, when something is sort of seeded or set up with this, antagonist, I was like, okay, got it. Like, let's do this. Huh. And then that kind of goes away, and then another thing comes up, and then that thing comes back, and I just started getting like lost in all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of. So when it was over, it was really pretty to look at, and I had some chuckles throughout. But I don't know, couldn't get its hooks in me.
Aaron, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm dying to know, you guys.
I don't have much of a history with Aquaman beyond like he's that one that talks to the fish. That's cool. Like I've never, but like at the same time, I've never been one that like feels like I need to put him down because of. I don't even know why that's uncool. It seems kind of neat to be able to swim super fast and talk to fish, but whatever. Like I really don't. I don't know what that is. Where it's like this guy's lame because he can do this. I don't know what that equates to when it comes to someone like Aquaman. So regardless, I don't have much of it beyond like reading them in like crossover event comics or something like various ones in DC. It's not one where I've been studying on Aquaman and waiting for this day. So going into it, I'm like, all right, let's see. I mean, I only have the brilliant Momoa cameo in Batman v Superman, obviously, and the his work in Justice League, and this is what I would expect a Aquaman movie to deliver. I'm very impressed by the scale. It reminded me a lot of Mortal Engines, which I saw the week before, except it has, and this is what I was bringing up earlier, an iconography to it. I think there's the thing you can accept, much like with Wonder Woman, actually, is that, and even Cavill's take on Superman is like we're at a time where you can easily accept that this is the version of Aquaman you're going to see from now on. Like, I don't have any doubts about that. And I think that is something that you give, much like, Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Like, you're not going to replace these people anytime soon. Right. And I think Momoa has a good enough presence where you're going to want to keep seeing him in this role, which is something to give that deserves a level of credit because, things could easily, it's not like people are clamoring for more Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern, but Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. It's like people want to see that specific version of Deadpool. So with that, there's a whole movie that goes with this. And I think Jason Momoa's co-lead is truly James Wan. I think Wan...
Well said.
He does a ton with this movie to make the world of it work. It doesn't always go explained or make a whole lot of sense, but it seems like Wan has a complete understanding with what he's trying to do here, and it feels like Warner Brothers actually gave him the the rope needed to be his own filmmaker, which makes sense because Wan has a proven track record. He's made successful Conjuring movies for the studio, and he has Furious 7 under his belt. So it's like compared to Wonder Woman, which I like well enough, but certainly feels like it has a layer of Zack Snyder on top of it in terms of the visuals. This feels like its own thing. Like this feels like its own movie. And if we're going to keep seeing that from DC, from this point onwards, I look forward to what that's going to continue to look like because you're giving the artist the control again. For this movie specifically, the visuals are really impressive. I want to keep emphasizing that because it's a movie that looks really complicated. Like that was one of my main takeaways from Justice League was how are they going to make Aquaman? This looks really complicated. They're underwater the whole time, and it because it's pulled off so well. That's a real reason to want to say go see this in theaters because it looks like an epic. Like as far as these movies go, the third act is phenomenal. Like I think it's a terrific giant action set piece that really works and feels like the true peak of the movie. I think most of these DC movies peak pretty early. This is one where it's like, no, it actually saves all the good stuff to this giant battle at the end. Getting there, it's a bit rocky. The waters are a bit rocky. I think the script is kind of terrible. I don't think Amber Heard and Momoa have much chemistry with each other.
I actually didn't either.
I think they're strong enough in their respective roles, but I think as far as seeing them together as a romantic couple, it just feels like the plot required it as opposed to...
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I just meant I liked seeing them playing off each other. It was fun. It was clear they were having fun
I don't discount that they're having fun.
Yeah.
I just felt like you were mentioning that the Sahara sequence. It feels like it felt so strained as far as we have lines we got to deliver to each other. Right?
Okay.
I know, like
Fair
there's
enough.
no real play there. It felt like when Conan O'Brien used to like jump in with what's his name on the band on his old on
Max.
Max Weinberg, like playing their anti-chemistry up. Like I'm not saying it's that bad.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of felt like, well, I guess we have lines to deliver now. Screwball comedy time, yay! But it never really felt all that natural. But like, there's a lot of stuff like that throughout, where it's just like the script does not serve these people.
Yes, they could have done it, but I don't think the script served them specifically.
Yeah,
I agree. I would agree with that. No, I'd agree
now,
with that. Yeah.
that said, on the villain side, I really liked what we were seeing here. I think Patrick Wilson's having a ball hamming it up.
He's hamming it up. He's great. Yeah.
I really like just like how devoted he was to being this version of a character. And I think I just had his name up too, and it's complicated because I like this actor. He was in the Get Down. He's the other villain in the film.
Yeah, Mateen.
Like Manson. Yeah, Mateen. Yeah. And he's in the movie First Match. That's on Netflix. That's really good too. I like him, and so it's like I like the little arcs that they give to him and to Orm. Like I like that work. I like the stuff done to kind of expand upon Aquaman and show like what else is going on. And you have Dolph Lundgren riding in on a seahorse. So it's like, and like an octopus under, like there's a lot of weird in this movie.
Just something like that is so perfect, right? Like you can tell James Wan is like, I want Dolph Lundgren in my movie,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that he had that thought.
And he's not just like on the side; he's like in this movie.
It's a pretty crucial role. Yeah,
one of the main stars of this movie. It's like, okay, getting a lot of Dolph Lundgren in the end of this year, but I'm not against that, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's the movie. It's like, if I take out like the visual element, I think it's fine. But because of how like richly made it all seems and how much fun it has with the amount of bombast there is here, it kind of it pushes it up to be one of the better DC Universe films for me. Like it's way too long, but I had a good time and it never really lets up in its pace. So yeah, it's fun. It's a fun movie.
Well, there we go. I think we covered it pretty well. One thing I will add, and this isn't necessarily a spoiler, but I mentioned this in my initial write up, and then also in my review. I said I like how earnest the movie is.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that in a couple ways. Number one, I said this earlier. I like how it embraces the totality of the concept, including all its silliness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And part of that, for me, the scene at the end where we see Arthur in his Aquaman suit, which is the gold orange scales and the green trousers, like that's a costume that even DC Comics spent like the 90s being like, yeah, that's lame. And this movie's like, no, it's not. It's awesome.
It is. Mm-hmm. It is too. It earns that.
It earns it, exactly. But I also, in terms of earnestness, I like that it doesn't make Aquaman an anti-hero. It makes him a guy who's doing the right thing, who's trying to do the right thing. Like, what's Aquaman doing? He's even before he's goes on this quest or whatever, he goes around helping people. And that seems quaint, but I like that, and I like that we're talking about the very first scene, the interaction with the character who becomes Black Manta. Aquaman makes a choice in that scene, and what I like is that later in the film he reflects on that choice, and that's the type of thing that to me in a movie like this it's always something I respond to when we frame these people. These heroes as moral people, and they're driven by a higher morality. And I don't know, maybe that's something for me, especially as a parent now that these are movies that I watch with my kids. I want these to be characters they can look up to. I always think about that.
I do like that 2 standalone DC movies now feature characters on boats delivering, passionate monologues about their sense of being to one another.
That's true. That's very funny. But I think I agree with you that I think the flaws are there, but I think a lot of them are papered over by James Wan's approach, and also by Jason Momoa just being very charming in the role.
Well, yeah, it doesn't double down on the issues in the way that like on Batman v Superman kind of does, where it's like it's already has its issue, and then it's like let's treat it as seriously as possible, and like stage it in like the ugliest location and shoot it within an inch of its life so it looks as good as it possibly can. Like, let's have this ridiculous fight between these two heroes based off of stubbornness and film it in a dirty bathroom. And it's like, why?
Like Fincher,
why is that? Why is that the need to? Why is that the way to make this?
It's funny because I think Brian, you and I were talking about this yesterday. Where like, when I was a kid, when I was in like junior high and reading comic books, I felt the need to justify why I was reading comics. So it would be a lot of like, well, it's actually really serious. Like, you don't get it. Like, it's about it's about the human condition. Like, you got to read The Dark Knight The Dark Knight Returns. It's about something, And it's like, to some extent, maybe this is just me, but I mean, as I've gotten older, I'm like, no, I just, I like this because there's like an octopus playing the drums, and that's friggin' crazy. And I kind of
it's because you've grown up, and not just because you're an adult, but because your tastes evolve. It doesn't make you're not a bad person in high school because you thought a certain way. You just have a different frame of mind. Like it's those that stick with it and think like there's only one way to do everything. The gatekeepers, they're the problem. That's the issue.
Well, and that's the thing. And I think. I'm seeing a lot of like there's those sort of reflexive DC fans who are wounded because obviously these films have not been as well received as the Marvel ones, and some of them are out front. They're like, this is a masterpiece, and I'm like, well, it's not a masterpiece. I mean, come on, it's a fun movie. It has a lot to recommend it. I think but it's not crap either. It's somewhere in the middle. And this is what I mean when I talk about a transcendent movie. Like, I didn't walk out of Aquaman being like, man, what did I just see? No, I was like, wow, I saw a really good Aquaman movie.
Yeah, I saw one that satisfies what I thought I would get from a movie called Aquaman.
Exactly right.
It like you're saying, Zachy, it runs the whole gamut on like what you can do with this universe and this world. It makes some weird choices. Like, there's a lot of there's things I don't want to lose track of, so I'm trying to frame it in my mind just so I don't forget. But there's like a lot of like, there's an abundance of conversations that happen and then are immediately like out, like an explosion happens and just takes away that whole conversation. Like, it happens, I swear, like 5 times where people were having like.
Wait, can we get into spoilers? Because I kind of want to talk about this.
Okay, let's just go.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay.
I don't want to derail you though.
Okay. So Aaron, put a pin in your thought because from this point on, we're at spoilers.
Spoilers.
Please continue.
Okay, so as I said, there's a lot of scenes. There's like at least 5 of them where like people are just having like a reasonable conversation, and then an explosion happens, and like aquamarines fly in, and like all this. It's like it happened a number of times. Where like this is intentional, of course, right? Like it's as if like the movie realizes like, well, Willem Dafoe's giving a lot of exposition again. Time to throw in an explosion. Like that's right. It feels like for a lot of this movie.
You know what made me laugh was during the third act with the big war, which is amazing, by the way.
Is.
I mean, it made me laugh how many sidebars people were having during the war, like almost like they're on a football field, and then they just go to the side with the war happening behind them, like, oh yeah, move plot forward, okay, I'm gonna go back to the war,
I call that like Patriot syndrome, where like in the Patriot, Mel Gibson and Jason Isaacs are like the two people like, I guess we could just casually walk out and fight each other while everyone's getting shot by cannons and muskets around us. Like, that probably happens.
Yeah. It also kind of made me laugh at the end when everything's resolved and they're on top of that ship or whatever, and they're like, hey, the war's over. And I was like, well, I hope they told everyone below the water. Like, they could still be, like, totally going at each other.
I'm so curious how Atlantis works. Like, everything's underwater, and they breathe under. Like, they don't like air. Like, that's the thing, right? They've evolved to the point where, like, air is just not good for them. Yeah. How do they, like, make stuff and clothes and things? Like, how are there needle and thread going through like while they're underwater to make like their fancy clothes?
Well, not everybody in Atlantis is incapable of breathing air.
I understand that. But
so you figure the people who are able to breathe air are able to work in areas that require things to be dry and things like that. And I don't know.
Well, they say that's only the high class people can do that. So that's a hell of a society that's advanced enough to think, hey, us rich people can actually help the others. Like, I don't see that very often these days. So that's a neat notion.
I have a nitpicky thing, and then something else I want to point out that I really liked. The nitpicky one is when he's going to get the king's trident. They're saying basically you have to be only the true king can get this trident. And I didn't think it was ever in question that he was the true king.
Yes.
So I thought it was like, was it a pure of heart thing or whatever? Because I was like, well, what was ever in doubt that it wasn't going to work for him?
Yeah, there's not much tension there.
A good point. That's actually a really good point.
Mainly because the fucking poster has him wearing Aquaman's costume and holding a trident in his hand.
Of course.
Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to like think about, like whether or not he's going to outmatch Julie Andrews as a giant monster. By the way, Julie Andrews is in one movie this holiday season, and it's not Mary Poppins. It's Aquaman.
That's actually see to me that's I mean, I suppose one could consider that a debit. Is that there's no doubt that we're going to end up at a place where he takes his place as the king of Atlantis. So the movie is like checking off boxes.
But at the same time, that's something I like about Wonder Woman, where it's not a matter of if she's able to do this or if she's able to be Wonder Woman. That No Man's Land scene, which again is a peak early in the film, it's about like she's making a choice at that point and revealing herself as Wonder Woman and like unleashing the costume and getting out there and standing in front to do like something for the good of the people, and it registers because of that. So it's like compared to this, it just feels like standard origin story checkboxes, like you're saying. So it doesn't really have much of it. Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see that suit, and I do think it earns like, hey, he's in that suit now. But at the same time, it's like the build up to it. It's like, yeah, he's gonna get it. Like this monster's not about to kill our main star.
Which I'm totally fine with. And I just wondered if maybe because I think at the beginning they were playing up the fact that he just doesn't care.
Yeah,
which isn't exactly true because he does
exactly
help
right.
people.
No, he doesn't. No. He doesn't care about being part of Atlantis,
his heritage,
mainly because they think he killed his mom. They killed his mom, so it's like, why would I want to go back to this kingdom? They don't like who I am. They don't like that I'm the product of this mixed. But again, another movie about mixed race characters, so that's cool.
By the way, am I the only one who saw the Tron Legacy comparison?
With the score or the look or
in both? In the
all of it, yeah. Even plot wise, Nicole Kidman shows up, sort of like Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of legacy, and that said, what was I about to say? The score. I like Rupert Gregson Williams, right?
Yes.
I like his score. I really like the score in the final trailer for this movie. And I was kind of annoyed that they didn't have some of those beats there.
I liked his music for Wonder Woman better.
Yeah, I like the cheesiness of this movie. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to also call out. I really love the relationship with him and his dad.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Jango Fett.
Yeah, was it Tamara Morrison? Yeah, which I was like, man, I need some more of that guy. Like he needs to be in more things. He's just a good presence, and I really loved their I really bought their chemistry, frankly.
Yes.
We really stretching it thin on the de-aging thing, by the way, because the beginning of this movie is like, okay, Nicole Kidman, they're like softening her looks up to make her look younger, and then you're like, Tamora Morrison has a whole head of hair.
Yeah,
wait a minute. Like, I understand that you're not an A-list star, so not everyone's going to think about that, but I am thinking about that right now. You don't have a whole head of hair.
I absolutely thought of that. This is, by the way, and I pay attention to this stuff, this is Tamora Morrison's second time playing a DC character. It's Nicole Kidman's second time playing a DC character, and Patrick Wilson's second time playing a DC character.
Let me name. So there's Green Lantern for Tamora Morrison, right? He's the original, whatever. What's the other? Who else did you name?
Well, Nicole Kidman. She was.
Batman Forever.
Chase Meridian.
Dr. Chase Meridian. And Patrick Wilson was Night Owl.
Well, yeah, Night Owl, of course.
Yeah.
Fat Night Owl.
That's right. And
Sad Dan.
Well, so I mean, anything we missed in our discussion of this film? I think this discussion has run the gamut because I think we've covered all the stuff that was questionable or didn't work. But we've also talked about the stuff that did work. I think this discussion, for anybody who's confused about what to think, I think they'll actually get a pretty good cross section just based on everything we've talked about.
I mean, I think so. Yeah, the people that, the things that are being said about this movie, it's the same with it's similar to Venom. It's like, regardless if you dislike or like these movies, the things that you're hearing are, for Aquaman, it has giant visuals, it has Jason Momoa doing cool stuff, there's a fun cast involved. I mean, that even if you say that in a negative way, where it's like there's too much crazy visuals going on, and Jason Momoa is being a bro. It's like these are the kind of the things you're recommending about this movie. Same with like Tom Hardy's, he's giving quite the performance. That goes good or bad, but it's like, yeah, that's what I wanted. And there's a lot of venom in it. Okay, that's what I'm asking for in this movie.
What's funny, Brian, is I remember, like I had this as soon as there's that first shot where the first time we see Aquaman, right? He comes into the sub and he's like, permission to come aboard, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as that happened, in my head, all I heard was "wah!" That
even like gives you guitar riffs every time he does something like
he
that.
does. They kind of like soften that toward as the movie goes along, but I did notice that, like it kind of like kept happening.
I kept thinking every time he does one, because he does that a lot too. Like kind of he gives blue steel looks over his shoulder, like that's kind of his thing.
Bunch. Like you can take a shot every time he does that. Yeah.
Yeah, he gives like a blue steel, like I'm back, baby. Like it's just.
Yeah. But I do have a legit question. This is going to sound cynical, but I am being serious. Does he have a weakness?
Does Aquaman have a weakness?
Yeah, because he seems like he can take grenades to the chest, and then he's stabbed, and then he's
Atlantean steel is his weakness, apparently.
Well,
I just didn't know
if he gets hit with like the plasma beam, the Atlantean plasma beam, burns him.
Yeah, and then he heals right away, right? Like Wolverine.
I mean, he gets up, he walks it off, basically.
Well, he walks it off. He walks it off.
In the comic books, he's not invincible, but he his skin is tough because it can withstand the depths.
The depths of the water. Yeah. It seems like I kind of have that same thought with Wonder Woman. It's like, what are these powers everyone has? They say they're just really. I mean, it seems like Superman's pretty easy. Dude's from another planet. He's indestructible. That's in this theme song. I get it. Like Batman, yeah, he's just he's a detective. That's his thing. Aquaman and Wonder Woman is like, wait, are they bulletproof, or they're just really fast, or what's going on here exactly? I kind of wonder.
I wish I'd understood his limits just a little bit more, or maybe they'd even played with him a little bit more, because he never felt down, like down and out, And it's sort of like I rolled my eyes a little bit, I'll admit, in the first act when he was, getting shot with everything. I was like, oh, so he has no weaknesses. So basically, we're just going to watch fights. The fights are going to end when the editor feels like we've had enough, because he's never going to
But I do think the action's quite good, and like not even just like the giant war thing, but like the action, like you mentioned, the sub scene's really cool when they destroy a lot of Sicily. Like that's fun. Like it's
that rooftop chase I thought was really fun, and it was shot really well. And it gives him complications because he can't if he can get shot, so it doesn't matter.
Well,
but if you
have to
keep up with someone.
Yeah, it's also about preserving those around. Like he's saving
people. He's trying to save people. Yeah,
it's strength. It's similar to like how you give Superman obstacles. Like you're not going to kill Superman, so you have to make like him challenge the city he's trying to protect at the same time. And so it's like, not in the Zack Snyder films, of course. No, fuck those cities. But in the other Superman films, it makes sense.
So Brian, I went to Wikipedia just to see about his whether Aquaman has any weaknesses, and I don't know if this is specifically applicable in the film, but in the comics he has a vulnerability, which is that he has to come into contact with water at least once per hour, or he will die.
I hope that's expanded upon in the sequel.
Yeah.
Well, certainly
Aquaman 2, fish out of water.
I mean, when you put two Atlanteans in the middle of the Sahara and you don't do anything about it, then it seems like that vulnerability probably doesn't exist.
Right.
Yeah, now, yeah.
So, I don't know. I will say this.
There's going to be some Aquaman purists out there like, they can't survive in the desert. No stars. That's a Rotten Tomatoes review. No stars.
We mentioned Tamura Morrison before, and I will say I think it's I like the fact that it's an innovation of this film that Aquaman is biracial and he is brown, and that's something that the movie doesn't comment on and doesn't need to comment on, but that's now part of the canon. This is like Aquaman isn't this waspy blonde guy anymore. He's this Samoan guy. I just think that's cool.
Yeah, and I also look. If we're going to get an Aunt May spinoff movie, I look forward to the Lighthouse Keeper spinoff that explains this Maori that ended up in Massachusetts to work the lighthouse.
It's funny. There was an Aquaman TV pilot about 10 years ago.
Was it a Smallville spinoff or something?
It was not a Smallville spinoff, but it was made by the people who made Smallville, and it was called Mercy Reef. and it's
I love it.
yeah, they're trying to do the same Smallville thing. It starred Justin Hartley, who is on This Is Us now.
Okay.
But he was Oliver Queen on Smallville after, because the show the pilot didn't get picked up, so he went over to Smallville. But it's the movie, the pilot episode.
This poster's great. I'm looking at this now. Okay.
Oh, you're seeing? Yeah, it had Lou Diamond Phillips as his father,
Yeah,
and Volko was Ving Rhames.
Oh, I'm into this.
It's worth watching. It's very interesting.
It had Adrienne Palicki, and she was like she made the rounds as not playing superheroes, didn't she?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I saw that Wonder Woman pilot recently. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's
David E. Kelly, she's a working girl and a superhero. But
yeah,
yeah, it's almost like a Hallmark holiday movie.
It's like a Ally McBeal meets Smallville kind of thing.
If you want me to score these, by the way, I'll do it. But bop, like I just asked those all day.
But again, Justin Hartley is very much not Jason Momoa, and so I like that the concept of how this character looks and how he's quote unquote supposed to look is going to be very different now.
Yeah, well, it took multiple years since that announcement, but he's finally united the seven.
There you go. Yeah, that's true. So any other thoughts on Aquaman before you wrap up this episode?
No, actually, I thought it's kind of interesting because hearing the things that enthused you guys is making me smile remembering them. And I wonder if it was maybe even just the running time kind of fatigued me a little bit.
It's too long. It's too long.
Yeah, because I did have fun throughout it, but I also didn't feel like I would shout from the rooftops about Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And Aquaman felt I did. I almost a checklist for me. Aquaman 2018, got it. Sort of a experience for me.
Yeah.
But I love that you guys loved it, and I think, like you said, I think people probably have a good idea of what they're getting into or how they're going to feel as they step in.
I mean, I'm at a strong B.
That was me. Yeah, that was me too.
Yeah, it's fine. It satisfies. It doesn't feel like it's overwhelmed by being a part of a DC universe. It just feels like it's here's an Aquaman movie. Look at all this sea stuff. Look at Jason Momoa. He's big. Yeah. It's just it's throwing it at you. It doesn't care how silly it seems because, as you mentioned, it has this earnestness, Zachy. So it's it's all right there in front of you to be just have fun with this. Don't feel so. It's not beholden to, what was going on to set up Justice League and all that. It just feels like its own thing, and it just makes me feel positive about where things are going to go with DC from here. What is next? What do they have next on the docket? Do we even know?
Shazam.
Oh yeah, Shazam. Yeah. That's right.
Which I expect will be very good, just based on
that feels like its own thing too.
Yeah.
It's as far as the universe movies, there's Shazam, and then there's Wonder Woman 1984, and
that's right. Yeah,
everything else is TBD. So
the Joker movie, guys.
Which is not in the universe, but yeah.
Got to get that Joker.
Yeah. Love that Joker.
Love that Joker, yeah.
Well, that has been wow. I got to tell you, we covered a lot of ground, and I'm grateful because we had a great conversation. So thank you, Aaron, for coming and hanging out for the full 2+ hours.
I like to make the podcast I'm on be as long as the movies that we talk about.
Well, as we wrap things up, Aaron, why don't you hype up anything you want to hype up for our audience?
Well, as mentioned, I do host a show called Out Now with Aaron and Abe. My friend Abe and I, we talk about weekly movie releases. We also do lots of commentary tracks, a lot of like what you guys do over here. We have our own kind of spin on things as well. Lots of fun guests. Zachy, you've been on a number of times, and be happy to get Brian on at some point as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a lot of fun doing that. That's everywhere you can find podcasts.
How many episodes have you guys done, not including your commentaries?
So we're at numbered episodes. We're at 347.
347. See that, Brian? We're pathetic, Brian.
And that doesn't include the many bonus episodes that we don't number for some reason because it doesn't help our continuity very much. But that's where we're at. And yeah, we do a commentary every month. So it's like we've been doing that for like pretty steady for the past like 5 years. So yeah, we got a lot. But yeah, I'm over Out Now with Aaron and Abe. You can also find my written reviews over at WeLiveEntertainment.com, as well as at WhySoBlue.com. I have a number of top 10 lists coming very soon, so that's a lot of fun.
Why So Blue, BLU?
Yeah, BLU, like Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And I'm on Twitter at AaronsPS4.
Perfect. And Brian, how about you? You've had a busy couple weeks, Brian.
Yeah, just December's always kind of a crazy month, a lot going on, a lot of commitments and events, and also the work year is winding down. But you can catch my work at Puppy Dog Pals, which is an animated show, airs on Disney Junior. And as Christmas is coming up here, we have our Christmas/Hanukkah episode. I think that is currently airing right now, and it's really cute and really fun. So to say, check it out.
And if you want to hear Henry Winkler play Santa,
that's right.
You got to watch Puppy Dog Pals.
I'm definitely into that.
Yep.
As for me,
Emmy winner Henry Winkler.
Yeah,
that's true. Was it like his first time winning an Emmy?
His first time winning. Yeah, he was nominated for Happy Days way long ago, and then he finally won, and well deserved because he's great on Barry.
So good, yeah.
As for me, you can find me at my website, Zackie'sCorner.com. That's ZAKIS Corner. You can read my full review of Aquaman as well as Bumblebee there. You can also find me on Twitter at Zackie's Corner, and that's also my Instagram. Also, I want to drop a plug for the latest Nostalgia Theater show. I just dropped my interview with voice actor Dan Gilvezan. He is the original, the one true Bumblebee. On the original Transformers. He was also Peter Parker and Spider-Man on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and this was just such a fun conversation, and I may say this on the show, I can't remember, but it was so surreal to me to be asking questions and then have this voice that I know so well, like responding to me, and I'm like, Spider-Man's talking to me.
Right.
It was amazing, and he was so nice. And so, of course, with the occasion of the Bumblebee movie coming out, I was like, oh, this is a perfect time to talk to the original Bumblebee. Great conversation. I hope you guys will check it out. Also,
the one true Bumblebee. Suck on that, Dylan O'Brien, voice of the Bumblebee.
It's true. What's funny is in our conversation, because at the time we talked, Dylan O'Brien had not yet been announced as the voice of Bumblebee. Mm-hmm. And so Dan even talks about, like, I've been like checking in, calling, like, hey, is he talking this one? Maybe if like, not even necessarily that he wants to do the voice, but just out of curiosity. And as recently as like a month ago, he had no idea that Bumblebee was going to talk in it. So they kept that until the very last minute. But that was a fun conversation. As far as on the movie film show, oh boy, we got the reaction to the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves commentary, Brian, has been kind of blows my mind, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say surprising.
Rapturous.
I'm utterly gobsmacked by how many people listened to that and enjoyed it. The feedback we've gotten has been great, and more people have listened to us talk through Prince of Thieves than Rocky IV, which I never in a million years would have believed. But
because it's like an hour longer too.
Yeah. So that movie has its fans. I guess that's the lesson there. But we have another commentary dropping on Christmas Eve. It is our movie film Christmas present, and it is Home Alone.
Yeah.
We just recorded that, so that one is in the tank and it's ready to go. So we're looking forward to dropping that. And we have one more movie film regular show coming before the end of the year. So this is not the end. It is just it's just a stop on the road.
Mm-hmm.
But as I tell...
We're in the end game now, guys. I don't know what you're talking
about. As I ask you each and every episode, please go to iTunes and leave a review. Leave a star rating. Every little bit helps. If you want to email us, you can do it at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com or hit like on our Facebook page and send a message there, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast. That wraps up Movie Film 161. My name is Zachy Hassan on behalf of my partner Brian Hall, on behalf of our special guest Aaron Neuwirth. Thank you so much for listening. We will catch you next time.
Welcome